Industrial revolution of music. You might want to cut that bit out.
For Mr. Steadicam. Sorry, don't make him laugh.
3, 2, 1.
Partially agree.
Okay.
Because I'm concerned that it will make people slightly lazy, even though it only generates what you put into it.
That's a very interesting way around it. And I can understand that.
Mm.
And I do wonder whether both viewpoints can exist and coexist. Because I think that historically, artists and musicians and creative people will use any tool that's available to them. So the argument goes, what would Beethoven do if Beethoven had access to all of the sort of multi-sequencing musical creations? Would Beethoven press one button and lean back and let the machine do anything? Or would Beethoven try and push the machine to its limits? So I would say that the AI is a contributor to what an artist would normally do.
Another tool.
Exactly.
And it's how you use it.
Absolutely. And so there'll be, maybe this has to go a little bit more in the middle, because then it depends on whether the artist is the sort to just want to press one button and create some production music quickly, or generate an image that will then inspire an artist to go and create something physically. Or maybe it's going to be, actually, I can use AI as a tool to create this incredibly complex and exquisitely detailed piece of art. So, interesting question. It could be anywhere. So, yeah, I'm probably going to go slightly on the disagree, just because it's interesting watching. Because again, though, this depends on what the data is going in, and where does the data come in from? It's coming in from humans. Humans come with their own intrinsic biases, whether we realise that or not. So the AI has to be balanced as best it can against the algorithmic bias from the humans going in, from the training, even from the background, the social background of the humans, the educational background of the humans. The kind of, there's so many things. I think it's pretty impossible to create a completely unbiased AI. Having said that, if we are educated enough about where those gaps are, which is really hard to do, then there's more of a chance. But I think it needs human intervention. Yeah.
So theoretically, a robot's got no emotion, doesn't feel, so it's neutral in essence. But as you say, it's created by what we put into it, which is already full of emotion and thoughts and biases. So you're right. So I think I should move mine a little bit more this way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because humans don't understand it.
How do you define it in the first instance?
And I think if people understood how creativity works, we would either all be listening to exactly the same song or just white noise or something. It feels like what the question is about, can you quantify the human experience? And that's such a big question. How far into the future do we think it's possible to create a machine that understands humans completely? Like if you ever read the Ian M. Banks culture novels about these giant benevolent spaceships that watch what humans are doing with this kind of amusement.
And how can you measure something like creativity? It's a feeling and an experience as well, which is part of being a human being.
Slightly disagree as well.
Using AI is still part of the creative process.
We've always used things to amplify our humanity, and AI is just the next in a long line of tools that help with creativity. Even recording something onto a tape or using hard disks, and the next thing is using computing and now Gen AI. So it's just the next set of tools, in my opinion.
You need that governance, that policy piece of how it's implemented. Also the training and adoption piece, how do you use it correctly? There's still so much we don't know, still so much to be determined. So it could cause a few problems. But so far, certainly in the instances I use it for productivity, it's been really helpful.
This is a question about ethics. This isn't a question necessarily about AI. It's a question of how appropriate it is to deploy AI in some situations and how it might not be appropriate for everything. I also think there's an interesting semantic thing going on here where people are adding AI to services or goods as an advertising incentive. And whether or not you need AI in everything is a really good question for people to ask themselves.